This is show 114 of the Cloth Diaper Podcast. Today I'm joined with Taya from Baby Boo Diapers to talk about her journey with Daycare and cloth diapers. Welcome back to the Cloth Diaper Podcast. My name is Bailey. I have been hosting this show now for 3 or 4 years, and we lost a little momentum this year because I bought a business. I've transitioned a little bit from being a cloth diaper content creator to being a small business owner in the baby cloth diaper space. I now own Nest and Sprout, an online and in-person boutique in northern British Columbia, and we provide timeless essentials for your growing family. Things for baby, things for kids, things for expecting parents. It used to be a maternity store, and now we're maternity, nursing, baby, and big kid, and everything else in between to really find you those timeless essentials from belly to baby. And naturally, when you take on a business project like that, you lose all of your free time. But now that my kids are back to school, now that I've got staffing and staff that I love and staff that I know and trust, I can get back to being in the office and getting out all of these shows. So today's show is one with Taya. She's the owner of Baby Boo Diapers, and she's going to share about her diapering experience with Daycare. This is a story that she's wanted to share a long time, and Taya has been a strong advocate for cloth diapering and childcare and kind of navigating that for a while. She talks a lot about this in her Facebook group for her brand, and she is definitely somebody who has kind of gone through the motions. Now, the audio is not fantastic. She does catch me in the car, so I've tried my best to clean it up, but the gist of her story is here, and I hope that you find some value in it to inspire you to know that you can cloth diaper at childcare. You can do this. You can come over the hurdles and make the education
When someone, I was a stay-at-home mom. So when someone's thinking though about going into work, where do we begin with this story was kind of my question. Do we think about, should we be asking care providers first before we jump into cloth diapering? Should we jump into cloth diapering and then tackle the daycare situation when it arises? Should we buy a stash first? Like if a parent is working and they're thinking about cloth as an option for their family, what is maybe that first question they should be asking or investigating?
Well, for me, it's not a matter of whether you're going to cloth diaper. You are going to cloth diaper. That's what you want, and you go for it. Okay? Because even if your care providers, your parents, your parent-in-laws are against it, you will still cloth diaper because that's what you want. You have decided on that. And cloth diapering part-time is still good compared to not cloth diapering at all. Right? Okay. So now, as a working parent, if you do decide to cloth diaper, you have to find out if your daycare or whoever is going to wash your baby can cloth diaper. Now, as far as I know, in the United States, there are no rule or law that is against cloth diaper, especially with privately owned daycare centers.
That's what I picked up as well. And if people have an idea that it is against the law, it's usually like a misinterpretation or like disinformation.
Or it's just their personal choice. Yeah. Because I'll talk about that later, about my experience also with a daycare who refused to cloth without telling me they don't want cloth. So those are red flags that you might want to.
If we're thinking about cloth diapering, whether we're really, I guess, any type of parent is just making the choice. We will cloth diaper. We'll figure it out. It doesn't, we don't need to do any preliminary research. We'll find a way to make it work. Is there a certain way to build a stash then, if you're thinking about cloth diapering and relying on care providers?
With my experience though, so when we delved into cloth diapering at daycare, it was with my youngest. So she was at 3 months at that time. And during the infant stage, especially when I was still on maternity leave, my go-to was covers and pre-folds, because those were the easiest, at least for me at that time at home. Somehow it's less loungy because it's just covers that I can reuse. But so I sent that. So when I talked to my daycare, the final daycare, not the first daycare that I went to, the final daycare who accepted the cloth, I just sent it the diapers. They're not. So they said that they can't do any rinsing or dumping or washing. I said, no, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Just put the dirty diapers, even if it has poop in it, in the wet bag, and I'll take care of it. Just change the diapers. So they said, okay. But because they rarely do accept, not accept, but they rarely get cloth diaper babies, not all of them are familiar with cloth diapers. So there wasn't much of a discussion between us as to what their preferences are, if there are any preference at all. So I sent my covers and pre-stuffed covers, and they were like so scared to use it because obviously when pre-folds they're falling out. It's not like disposable diapers. Everything is just together. So it was a mess. So I quickly switched her to pockets. And I also sent some all-in-ones, but then again, they hated the all-in-ones because obviously there's some semi-loose parts to it, and that was no good. So they fell in love with the pocket.
It's a little bit like your own cloth diaper journey, but with another person on board. Because Correct. I've talked to a few other working parents, and they use all-in-ones with their care provider, and I think there's one show where they use snap-in covers for theirs, So it's a little bit of a two-way street of communicating with your care provider to find a solution that works for both of you.
Correct.
Yeah.
So it's really finding out, communication, open communication, and we're just so blessed to have this daycare who's very open-minded. Every now and then there were like issues as to, especially when she changed rooms or there's a new teacher. You have to go over the retraining of the caregiver again, but nothing more than that.
Do you have any advice for navigating that training of caregivers? What's worked in your experience?
So with my experience, it's just a matter of telling them, well, they do know because obviously they're oriented first before I meet the new teachers. And so when I meet a new teacher, I say, just letting you know, my babe is wearing cloth diapers. If you're not familiar with it or if you have any questions, concerns, let me know. We'll go over it. And then most of the time they'll say, yeah, can you show me how it's done? And some of them will like, it's okay, I'll figure it out and I'll let you know if I have any questions. So,
do you provide any resources, or like I've seen other moms on the Facebook group, sometimes like they have like little cards and stuff. Do you provide any of that, or do you just do a virtual teaching?
Well, with me, I haven't had the need to do that. But, those visuals are very good. I think they're very useful, especially like if there's many different teachers in a day. But I guess there are some centers that are like that. Well, with ours, whoever is a teacher for that class remains the same unless there's a turnover. So, if it's a high turnaround place, it will be good to have something like that. That's a very good idea.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you do that's kind of unique for your daycare, like to make it easier for them? Do you have to label your diapers, or do you supply wet bags for each diaper? How does that kind of look like for supplies? And
so I guess not unique for them, but something that I have developed over time makes it convenient for me and for them. So I prepare, because I have the luxury of having a lot of wet bags. But, if you have like a couple of wet bags and enough diapers to last for a couple of days, prepare your diapers, prepare your wet bags for at least maybe 2 to 3 days. If you can have it ready for 5 days, have that ready. So for daycare, I usually have at least 6 diapers. I know she'll be using 6 diapers. And then I include maybe 1 or 2 extras.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a daycare diapers for the day for each wet bag. So since I have like at least 5 wet bags in my stash, I get all 5 of them ready by Sunday night, if not by Monday night. This way, when I leave in the morning, as a working mom and you have multiple kids, you're always in a rush. So every morning, I just grab and go. I don't have to prepare anything as far as diapers is concerned.
Okay.
Once I get to the daycare, I unload the bag. I don't wait for the teacher. Just a little courtesy. I put the cloth diapers in the baby's cubby, where the other diapers normally go. It goes there. And then I put the wet bag, because they already assigned like a little hook for her. So I put the wet bag there so that whenever they're ready to change her, all of the dirty diapers go straight into that same wet bag that I brought in that morning. So the diaper doesn't stay in the wet bag. The clean diapers goes into the cubby, because each student normally has a little cubby for their diapers and change the clothes goes. It goes there. So the diapers goes there, and then once they're dirty, it goes to the same wet bag. And at the end of the day, they just hand me the 30 wet bag full of 30 diapers.
I've heard you talk about this wet bag strategy, this once a week thing that you do, but there was a little disconnect there, Taya. I didn't quite understand the full process about how many wet bags that you had. So you fill up 5 wet bags with all of the clean diapers that you need for the week for each day, right? So you got all of your diapers in one, and you bring them. Do you bring them all then on Monday and like fill up?
No, I just grab one every morning and bring it to the daycare.
Oh, okay. And then you put all of the diapers into the cubby, out of the wet bag, and then you hang an empty wet bag and then you bring it home. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I don't know why I wasn't visualizing it like that, but also part of your strategy as a working mom, cloth diapering with daycare, is that you only wash once a week, correct?
I only wash once a week. So that same wet bag that I took home for the dirty diapers for Monday, I leave it in my laundry room until I'm ready to face it.
So you're ready to face it?
So the Tuesday dirty diapers stays in their Tuesday bag. The Wednesday dirty diapers stays in their Wednesday bag all the way to Friday. Now, This only works for me because I live in a very dry climate. I don't know if this will work if you live in a humid climate, because then it might be different.
Yes.
You get some flies and whatnot.
Yeah, right. You got to adapt your cloth diaper strategy. Like, not everybody's cloth diaper strategy is going to work for everybody based on where you live. It really helps that you're dry, because mold and smells can really happen when it's super humid. Do you do the poop all then on like Saturday? You just do a whole week's worth of
Friday. I'm very religious as far as doing my diaper laundries on Friday night so that I get home.
Okay.
There will be teachers who will, by the time that she got older, the teachers are so used to her being called diapers that they already plopped the poops out for me, so that's nice. Yes, but every now and then there will be some teachers who will not. Like I said, I'm pretty honest, I don't check my bags until Friday. So there will be some nasties by Friday. They will be like so dry, because it's dry here. It will be so dry, so I have to like some elbow work to get those dried up poop bits.
That's probably showing your care providers some love, talking to them about it, staying open communication, letting them know that you really appreciate them. You might see some benefits of poop removal.
But I don't. I've never asked them to do anything else, because to me, for them to be accepting of cloth is already more than it. So I guess, or maybe I'm just too shy to ask, but I haven't really asked.
They've just been really good.
My baby's diapers. Yeah.
Have you had to do anything different for your routine when it comes to a once a week wash? Or have there been any hiccups there, Taya? Like, sometimes people talk about once a week wash being hard on diapers, or sometimes holding on to smells. Has that been your experience?
Not in my experience, but I know it could be, especially since they're sitting in those diaper bags. Those wet bags for the longest time. So I don't really recommend doing that. Play it by ear. I would say 3 days max is the most that you can do. If you want to try 4 days, go ahead and give it a try. If it's bad, then don't do it anymore. If you think you can work it out at 4 days, then go ahead and do 4 days or 5 days. Whatever. Yeah. To me, it's just that I'm so busy during the weekday. I work full time. I have a business, and I have three kids to take care of. Although the husband is very, very helpful, but as far as diapering is concerned, everything is on me.
But all the jobs, you're a double hustle mama. So a lot of people there have been a few other episodes. Some people will do a daily wash. They'll wash their diapers every night. A lot of people will do it every 3 days. The nice thing about modern washing is that really we dump it in the machine and the machine does the work for us. It's probably
correct.
Like the poop removal is maybe the most laborious part of cloth diapering.
And I have to be honest, do I get tired of diaper laundry? Yes, I've had. There will be times that I just don't want to deal with it. That's why I do it on Friday. Now, the way I've done it works for me is because I run the pre-wash Friday night when I get home. If I'm feeling it, I'll do the main wash as soon as, it's done. But if not, it sits in the washing machine until Saturday morning. That's just how it is. So it's like one diaper laundry for overnight until Sunday. So Friday night, pre-wash, Saturday morning, main wash, and then an extra rinse, and then drying. And sometimes I still don't want to deal with the folding and stuffing, and that I wait until Sunday to get it done. If I'm feeling happy, I get everything done by Saturday. If not, Sunday night it is.
Damn, I don't know how you do this all. This sounds like a lot of work. Is your youngest now out of diapers? Are you done with this phase of your life yet?
Yeah, she has been potty trained for a while now. I think a year now. She's going to be in kindergarten this fall.
Oh, wow.
It's been a while.
Okay, I just registered Anna for kindergarten as well, too. So it has been a while. What is perhaps what has been the biggest lesson that you've learned about daycare and cloth diapering? Like your biggest words of wisdom that you have for anybody who's thinking about it?
I would say just give it a try. So I did my main daycare had a wait list when we were ready to put the baby at daycare. So we had to go find a different daycare. When we found one, we asked if they can put a diaper. The immediately said no. But I was adamant and I said, why no? And they said, it's because with the rule and whatnot, And I said, can you show me this rule? And obviously they can't show me the rule. Now, with the cloth diaper groups, I've heard and I've seen that, I guess, the military daycares, they just won't allow it.
Yes, I've heard of that.
Case, yeah, I've seen that so many times, and I'm like, okay, maybe that's how it really is. And if they don't, then they don't, But you gotta try. Maybe some of them will be understanding about it, and if not, then you can still call diaper part-time whenever you can, and that's still good enough. Yeah.
Linnea, who is a Swedish mom, she said like the biggest thing that helped her out was like showing the daycare the cloth diapers. They originally said like, no way. And then when she came with them in her hands, they were like, oh, this is not what I thought it was. And there's a lot of misinformation. And so sometimes like the gut reaction that a daycare has is founded in just not knowing. And but we'll have to do a little bit of education work and it kind of sucks, but it's probably an important part of building that relationship with your daycare.
What's even funny is that with this other daycare, when they eventually said yes, because they couldn't present this information or rule that they're telling me that prohibits them from accepting cloth diapers. When they finally said yes to cloth diapering, they gave me all of the hurdles to discourage me from bringing in cloth.
Did you own your business at this time, Ted? Did they know that you were?
Yeah. I'm like, are you telling me I don't know a thing? Of course I know. So they were like making me bring my own trash can. I'm like, why do I need a trash can? Where does it say I have to bring a trash can? Oh, it's just the cloth diapers doesn't go with our trash can. I'm like, you're not supposed to throw my cloth diapers in the trash can. It's supposed to go in a web bag. I'm like, oh no, we still prefer it that way. Well, let's just say it was so hard-headed, I never brought a trash can. And then, because we were only staying there for a month, so 1 month passed by, they never got their trash can, and they couldn't. I just never bring any trash can.
There's something that my daycare has been asking for me to bring in too that I just think is utterly ridiculous, and I can't even remember what it is. But I just kept ignoring it and forgetting, and just begging for forgiveness instead of asking for permission. It's like, no, okay,
exactly.
It's not happening.
Sometimes you have to pretend you have like selective hearing. I guess it's an adult. Main daycare, the one that accepts diapers. When I first went to them, I said, "Oh, I've decided to not diaper my baby, so I'm gonna bring some." And then the front desk said, "Oh no, sorry, we don't accept that." I'm like, "I know you do. I know that your other branch does." No, I don't think so. Okay. The next day I came back. Are you sure? Have you checked? And she said, I just know we don't because we never had anyone here. I'm like, okay, then I will need to speak with the owner because I know that your other branch does it. So the owner called me back that day and said, yeah, of course. We accept diapers.
Sometimes you just got to keep asking questions and harassing people and saying, hey, can you get to the bottom of this?
Mm-hmm. I guess cloth diaper is not, no matter how much we say make cloth diapers mainstream, it is still not mainstream. Mm-hmm. Like, even if this particular daycare accepts it, it's not like something that they announce because it's rarely used by their population. So nobody knows that they're actually doing it. Yeah, I would be surprised if I ask the new staff now if they call diaper, they might say no.
Right, our memories are so short. And I don't know about your daycares, but my daycare has a really high turnover with staff. Like the staff is always turning over and they probably wouldn't really remember things. So it's really cool that you kind of figured out a groove. You got your stash. So you have a full week's worth of diapers that you've purchased. Well, I guess you own a cloth diaper brand, but you would have had to have purchased them at some point. So you have, and you're sending 5 diapers a day?
I send at least 6 plus an extra. Another trick will be to send disposables also. Like maybe 5 disposables in their cubby. Because, if there's a new teacher or whatever, she uses all of the diapers for the day. At least you have some disposable backup. There's nothing wrong with having some disposable backup, even at daycare.
I think when I had somebody, Shannon Sands, on the show, she also had a couple in her cubby that she mostly used like when they had to go on field trips, or sometimes if there was just random sicknesses. So we've got about 40. So what's your full stash? Do you have about 60 diapers then in circulation?
For daycare, I would say yes. If I send like 6 per day, so it's about 60, yeah.
Oh, that's 7 per day is 40, I think. 7 times 5, 6 times 5 is 30. So 30 diapers for daycare. Yep, and then do you cloth diaper at home still?
Yeah, full time. That's fine.
I don't know. I'm just checking. We didn't even talk about your home life. What do you do with your home diapers? Do you wash those with your weekend diapers? Are you only washing all of your diapers in one week, just on Friday? Okay.
Yes, on Friday only. On Friday only.
I wasn't sure if you were sneaking in another wash cycle is what I was trying to figure out. What do you...
I just couldn't.
I don't know. Okay. So we've got 30, 40, 50 diapers. So you've got a good size stash, mostly pockets that you're using. You're sending them all in wet bags, and you're just working with your care providers like one-on-one when they needed support to learn how to cloth diaper, and just kept asking a lot of questions. That's kind of what I've picked up from today's. What do you do when you're really overwhelmed, if you get burnt out?
But it's okay to stop using cloth diapers for a while. For a day, half day, 1 week, a month. It's okay to stop, just to give yourself a breather. Yeah. Sometimes you get tired of washing, or maybe you're just so busy. And it's okay to pause and then go back whenever you're ready.
Yeah. So I think we've got some really great information to share with cloth diaper parents. Taya, do you talk about this if parents are looking for some support in your Facebook group, if they would like to chat more about how to navigate being a working mom and cloth diapering?
Yes. If some people are passionate about talking about wash routines, I'm passionate about working and cloth diapering and daycare, because I feel so connected on that topic, because that's what my main experience is with cloth diapers. How I dealt with it with daycare. At home was less. There was not much challenges because everybody was supportive about it. It's really just the daycare that I've seen.
And then you're dealing with a ton of different people providing care for your child and having to teach them something that, as much as we think it's mainstream, it's really not. So the Baby Boo, you can reach out to Taya through Baby Boo. She is the owner of Baby Boo, as well as a full-time working mom of 3 in Vegas. And Baby Boo has tons of great social channels, tons of great brand reps who can probably also provide support to anybody who's listening who needs more support in their diapering journey. I saw that you just launched all of your brand reps recently. So you have a huge team supporting you. Do you have anything else that you wanted to share that we have missed on?
Basically that's about it. Just figure out a schedule and routine that will work for you. If plan A doesn't work out, do some adjustments and do some plan B or plan C.
And really, that's what we do. All of us parents stay at home working. It's just constant adapting. And I almost want to think like being a working parent. I mean, yes, there's some challenges to it, but you're still like just in that trial and error, just like you would be at home. The biggest challenge is your time resource that you don't have.
Some would say, because I'm a working mom, I'd rather not cloth diaper. It's just too much work. Yes, it's an extra step or two, but it's not really that much different than if you're stay at home or work from home mom.
Yeah.
Because our times are always divided depending on how thinly we spread ourselves.
And if it's important to you, you'll make time for it.
I'm going to wrap up my conversation with Taya there. We kind of ramble in our own way about so many things. Now, just a reminder that this conversation that I had with Taya was recorded in the spring of 2022. I know it's releasing here October 2022. So much of this was 6 months ago. So much has changed for both her, for both me. But I think the core essence is still there, working with your childcare providers and kind of going through the motions. Of course, as always, the Baby Boo group is available. You can find Baby Boo on social media. I know, like me, she took a break over the summer, but I think she's on her way back to coming in. Now, for more great episodes about the Cloth Diaper Podcast, be sure to stay tuned here, subscribe wherever you're listening, get on my email list at clothdiaperpodcast.com because I'll still be sending out the shows that way. But I am kind of, drifting off social media. It's an opportunity to let more voices come in, and I want to focus on the things that bring me joy. And so I'm going to release all of these shows like I talked about in episode 113. And then we're going to kind of do a little bit of a shift. So anyways, I will see you online. Bye.